I don't really think I'm gonna fail at nothing. You know what I mean? And when people hear you talk like that, they usually like, oh,
right,
that's an arrogant dude. Like, but no, you should talk like that too, because the words that come out of your mouth, you know what I mean? That's what's in your future.
It's Stu Anima here, my co-host. As always, he's the man, he's the brand, Jay Thomas.
What's good, Stu? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good, man.
We got some special guests with us today. Black-owned boys in the building. Means and Gil, clap it up. Good.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
What's up?
Y'all good? Y'all good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Black-owned boys in the building from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah,
hip-hop artist Macho Means, creative director, Black-owned, here with Gil. And you've been here since like what, day one?
You mean the brand or us in general?
You in general.
Oh, I'm from the Natty.
From the Natty.
Of course, that's why you got Natty Ninja on the album.
Yep. We're going to talk about that. And the brand's been around since, what, 2011, right?
2011, yeah.
And I know you had said
2011.
You went to school, went to Miami University, went into marketing and everything. But how did, you even start a clothing line? What inspired you to start Black-owned? Like, how did they even start?
We always pretty much been into fashion, you know what I mean? We artists, we artists from day one anyway. We are artists, but we artists, you feel me? Like, I do music, and hip-hop goes hand in hand with fashion. So it was always in us. I believe, like, the people we grew up with, our group of guys was always looked at as some of the, fashionable ones. Mm-hmm. And after school, I worked corporate for a little bit, but then I just realized it wasn't for me. So I really wanted to focus on the music. And a big part of being an artist is how you present yourself. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until, after school that I had that epiphany that I wanted to get back to, the fashion side of it. This is actually my second clothing line. So my first one was in high school, and then, Black-owned being the second clothing line that I've ever done. But yeah, it was just, I wanted to have a fashionable brand, but it also to mean something, to represent something. So that was an inspiration, because at the time we was buying so many other people's garments. It was just somebody's name, whether that was Sean John or Ralph Lauren, whatever it may be, but it was somebody's name, Calvin Klein. And I was like, I'm tired of wearing people's names. I'll wear something that's a statement, though. So I felt like that should, that's where I wanted to take my next brand, and that's how you got Black-owned, from the beginning. But yeah.
And that's interesting, though, because, you said you had a clothing line in high school.
Yeah. And
it just shows that sometimes you get experience from one thing, and then it carries on to the next one. A lot of people do one, and if it don't go well, I'm done. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So what made you say, okay, I'm gonna try it again?
I'm just one of those persons, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really think I'm gonna fail at nothing. You know what I mean? And when people hear you talk like that, they usually like, oh,
right,
that's an arrogant dude. Like, but no, you should talk like that too, because the words that come out of your mouth, you know what I mean? That's what's in your future. But really, just doing it again was just what I was going through in life. So I was looking to make some money, but then, what I'm passionate about, because I think the best way to make money is to involve yourself with something you're passionate about. So that's how we got back to the clothes. So, I mean, really much, not much to it as to what made me do it again, because it wasn't like I was just sitting around waiting to have a brand. It was more so that I was looking to just be my own boss. And I was always into the music and the fashion, so that's what brought me back to it. But yeah, I see a lot of people do things, that they see other people do, and then it don't work out for them, and they just, steer away from it. But most successful people, they were knocked down at some point in their life doing exactly what they're rich for right now. So yeah, if something happen, don't be discouraged.
I feel that. I feel it. So, I think I pretty much understand the meaning, but for the people who may not know, what would you say the meaning and the slogan is behind Black-owned?
I'm going to answer that question, and probably Gil's going to answer that question too. But before I do that, what does Black-owned mean to you?
With me?
Just right off the top, what do you think it means? How does it represent you?
For me, just being a minority, we all don't come from inheritance. We all don't come from wealth. And a lot of brands that we do buy from are not from minorities or African Americans. So I'm proud to say that that's somebody in my city that started something that's black owned. And that's, some people may look at it like, oh, that could be racist. Like, nah, I look at it as in it's putting on for people that don't come from nothing. You get what I mean? So I look at it as support black businesses.
Right.
And, you know, we can be business owners too.
Right, right. And pretty much I think we both want to get answer a little bit about what black owned, because like black owned means something to you. We have a global meaning for why we started, but black owned means something to me, to him, to the older woman. But when we started our brand, like we knew that the phrase black owned was provocative. Like to put that on a shirt or anything, someone's going to see it and they're going to have an emotion, whether that's excitement or I don't like it, but they're going to have some type of emotion to that. And we knew that, but that's what made us want to do it even more. When you hear black owned, that's really the only time you get uncomfortable, when you hear a nationality or a race and then owned behind it. If you hear anything else, Mexican owned or Latino owned or, oh, that's Jewish owned. It's a Jewish community. We talk like that frequently. We don't think anything of it. But when you start saying black owned, just even when I say it, and I have the brain, even when I say it, I still kind of like have to
cringe to it.
Yeah, because that's programming. So for us to have this brand, we knew that people were going to see it. People who are going to be offended, so what with those people? But it's other people who see that, and it makes you. It reminds you that I can do a lot of things, but black itself just represents so many things. The sophisticated side of life. We knew where we were going, and what we intended to do was tell a story through garments, and we do that because it's a lot of young people who are inspired by that phrase, whatever it means to you. You know what I mean? But of course, we wanted to have people just really have that dialogue, like, because at first it was an issue, but. Black owned is about ownership, definitely, but ownership of self. You know what I mean? But you want to, what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, agree pretty much with everything you said. And also, it's not only a clothing line; it's a frame of mind. So we're bigger than just selling clothes as black owned as a brand. We are a frame of mind also. So everybody got to keep that in mind. And not only black people wear, all races and ethnicities and whatever, whatever you are, you wear, you're more than welcome to wear. We welcome you to wear it. So, it's really bigger than just like a color line. It's a universal frame of mind.
Yeah.
Got you. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and when we started, that was what we represented. Like, people like, is this a racist thing? Absolutely not. We don't have that type of energy to put into anything. You feel me?
Right.
But we did create it to inspire people who look like us. But, black itself is, like I said, it's much bigger than race. Black is the color of sophistication. Black is the color of success. Look it up. Every color has psychology. So if you own by the idea of being successful or a sophisticated individual, whether you black or not, you black owned, because you got that state of mind.
I just learned something new.
Yeah. Exactly. If I invite all y'all out to our black tie event, what you gonna do? Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's bigger than that, but of course it's for us. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's live.
Yeah, that's love, man. I never knew that. I just learned something new. So.
And what's also live? Oh, go ahead.
No, you straight. I'm just saying, it's a lot of people that's listening to this podcast that don't know either.
Right.
But I don't. You know what? People always say, "What does it mean?" When we were young, like, we're still a new brand. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things. But when we first started, we were so eager to explain ourselves, what we represented. Now, not so much on people, because, like, once again, I want to. Deprogram those people who think we always have to explain ourselves when we're talking about our culture. Because once again, we never question Chipotle Mexican grill. We never go in and walk up to the counter like, why I gotta be a Mexican grill? Why I just can't be a grill? But people ask us like, why I gotta be a black owned shirt? Why can't it just be like everybody owned? Like, come on, man. Like,
I never thought of it like that.
What you mean? Why can't it be black owned?
Right.
We want you to know exactly what we mean. Just like Chipotle wants you to know exactly that they're a Mexican grill.
Right.
So you know what you're getting. You feel me? But it's much bigger than that. You feel me? Like, because the goal is to inspire everybody, and that's what we're doing. we just want all Americans to be able to be comfortable with who they are. And we got to take that back. That's up to us. So now I'm not always excited to explain to people what does it mean, because I'm like, why do I have to explain? People who say it's racist, okay, stop. Break it down to its most simple form. Like, I own this phone. This phone is mine. I'm black. This phone is black owned. What's racist about that? It's nothing racist about anything being black owned, but America hasn't heard that term that often, so it makes you feel uncomfortable. So what's the first thing you say? Something that lets other people know that you're offended, which to say, oh, that's racist. But if you really break it down, there's nothing racist in it, just like it's nothing racist about a Chipotle Mexican grill. But you really have to say these things to some people because their mind not on the same wavelength yours is on.
We've all been programmed different, man. We all come from different backgrounds. This is why I was so excited to definitely have you on tonight, because I knew that it was a story to be told that everybody may not understand, the meaning behind it.
Right.
And, even though despite the meaning of it, it's grown, pretty large. And with it being the brand it is now, how would you say it grew to where it is? And what were some key moments that you would say today that you look back over, it's like, oh, that was pivotal on how, we really grew into the brand we are?
What you said, pivotal moment?
Yeah, everybody has, just like with the podcast.
What was one of the big moments that we felt like it was?
One of our big moments. I mean, every moment is a big moment for us, really. But when we really knew it kind of struck a nerve, I guess, when Jeezy, I mean, obviously, he's like one of the, the hood loves Jeezy. Everybody loves Jeezy. Right. White culture loves Jeezy. Like, so for Jeezy to recognize it and have on one of our hats, and it was just like, that was a big moment. And then when Means met Ice Cube, that was huge. That was like, he's a living legend, like, and he is right here holding like our brand. Right. He has our brand, like, and the list goes on and on. It's really a lot to remember. But it's like all the celebrity love is just unreal. It's just that lets you know, like, you're doing something different, and you're doing something that's achieving like a level that you really never expected when it's getting into these people's hands. So
I was gonna ask that. Go ahead.
So when did y'all find out, or how did y'all find out like Jeezy was wearing y'all stuff, or did y'all just, somebody was like, oh man, Jeezy got your, like, how did y'all find that out?
Shout out to Joyce. I mean, if you hear this podcast, you're getting your love right now. I'm giving you your love right now. But yeah, one of my good friends, DJ Fresh, his lady was friends with Jeezy's manager, and they set something up for us to get the product straight to him. And he decided to wear it a couple times, but actually wore it before he wore it in concert. But that particular time, we got some hats to him, and he was on tour. He liked the hats. He put it on, actually wore it in Detroit, performed in it, which was major because this was the TN103, album, and Jeezy was on that tour, and for him to just like take black on, with him, like he said, the celebrity love is wonderful, one of the high points of doing this, because it's just like he said, it's a lot of brands now. The market is saturated. Everybody has a clothing brand. So to be able to get a little light in all of this, in this crowded space that we're in is a blessing. Right. But it's the everyday people though. Really, I love the celebrities, but man, like Cincinnati rep for us. Right. It's some people who don't wear black on when they're in the city, but if they plan any trips, they come see us. Like, I'm leaving, so I'm taking my city with them, with me, and that's important because that's the type of impact we would like to have on our city. Like, when someone brings up Cincinnati, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's where black on at, huh?" That's the goal, because we want people to know that one, we're where we from, where we started, but we want that identity there for the world to know, that Cincinnati brought this forward for our people, and because Cincinnati gets some negative light at times, so that's what we pushing for. But it's and that's the everyday people who gonna do it, those people who go to work 9 to 5, get a check that say $700, and then something that they work 2 weeks to get, they'll spend a portion of it with me. Like, that is a wonderful feeling. You know what I mean? To know that sometimes it's unreal, but yeah.
It's inspiring.
So what year? How long ago did y'all like first like? All right, black owned. We starting black owned. What was like? How long ago was that?
2011.
2011. So that's
sounds funny, but it makes it 2011.
2011.
So that's 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's a long journey, man. So were there times where, and I'm sure there were times where you're like, man, maybe not, like, you know what I mean? So how did you push through that? Because a lot of people, once again, they clothing line could have made it, but they stopped on year 2, thinking like, oh, we already done it for 2 years, we ain't going.
Well, interesting fact is, I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, you're all right.
After 2 years of business, after 1 year of business, actually, 50% of those businesses are gone. And then I think it's after 5 years of business, 95% of businesses have went out of business. So really only 5% of businesses make it past year 5. So when you're talking about, black owned, for us, we're not even a global brand just yet. Yeah, we ship stuff all over the country, but it's not everywhere at once. So that goes to show, like, Cincinnati, like, really, really rep black owned, because it's a major part of what we're doing. But you want to chime in, like, you keep grabbing.
Let me start with the saying. But what was the other question?
Like how you just push through.
Push through because through the tough times, the times it didn't seem like it was going to go so well.
These guys are really motivated. Like, especially this one. This one's really driven. Like we got 2 other people. What up, Merk? What up, Tone? That also are a part of the brand, and we're all each other's like motivation, and we all push each other to do better, and I think that carried along the way because we trusted it. You don't really trust people. You don't trust strangers when they tell you to do something because you don't know the stranger. So it's like, why should I trust you if I don't know you? But since we're so close and we're good friends, like, we automatically trust each other's judgment and opinion. So if you say push, then I got no choice but to keep pushing through the thick and thin, like. Because I know you got my back because you my brother, you my friend. So right. I trust what you say.
And see, and that's Jay-Z is a famous quote by Jay-Z. And I guess people ask him, like, man, what did you do so special? And there's a quote by him, you probably heard it. He said, the genius thing that we did is that we just didn't give up. And so that's what you're saying, just push through. Right. It's important having a group around you, because if you just by yourself, negative thoughts start coming, like, oh, you wag, you don't know why you started a clothing line, all kinds of stuff can come to your mind. But when you got 3 other guys that's like, nah, we good, let's keep pushing, that's important, man. That's good.
People think it's easy, like, they look at us and like, it must be real easy, but like you said, we've had those moments where it, like, sales ain't been that great this month, but that's any business,
right?
But it's bigger than us at this point. Like, the brand don't even belong to us anymore. This brand belongs to the people, and like, the country need this brand. Like, we really believe that. There's other brands out there. Like, in the past, like, brands that made statements, they were never really that fashionable. You know what I mean? At least, like, bold statements.
Right.
Were never really that fashionable. And the ones that are really fashionable are like, we so dope, we don't need to make a statement. The shirt is just it in itself.
Right.
But we wanted to have both. And so this brand don't belong to us. It belongs to the people. So, like, how can we quit? Like,
right.
You feel me? But
and besides, like you said, it belongs to the people. You've given back. Like, I've seen, like, you sponsor local events like the All-Star Game in Cincinnati. Talk about that experience, like getting a chance to do that.
That's always good, you know what I mean? Because, one, anything surrounding the kids and their future, like, the whole entire community should be a part of that. Because those are the people who are going to be running the community when we're older and need somebody to take care of the things that we don't have the energy to take care of anymore. So it's very important to just be involved with the kids in general. Like, we get calls every day about someone wanting us to sponsor some event, pay for something. And people who don't understand business, they continue to, you know, just ask for things, not really understanding that we have salaries to pay, a lot of bills to pay, inventory to carry. We can't sponsor every event. It's impossible. But we try to only sponsor events involving kids. Like, so if you releasing a book or something like that, want us to sponsor, we might say we can't, because we're saving those opportunities for the kids. Now, here and there, we're able to do, you know, a few events, but it's always good to be involved in the city that you're in, to give back, because I just had to tell a young man, and I'm going to put this on blast, you know, I want to get some shoes from City Gear. Yeah, I definitely want to say the name, because, and whatever, the shoe had a sale price on it. And I picked the shoe up. I'm like, I gotta get these at this price. I take it up to the guy. Let me get a 10 in this. He brings the sneaker out. I go to the register, about to pay for it. The shoe was supposed to be like $100. Guy say 170. I say, nah, it's a tag on it. Look, it's on sale. He said, oh yeah, it's on there, but I can't sell you this shoe for that. So I was offended, because I'm like, oh, like, this price is on here. You brought the shoe out the back. We could have handle this before you let me even get to the register. So I think it's in your best interest as a consumer for you to sell me this shoe at the price that's on here. You got 2 signs on here, actually. So he went on and on. He got upset. I don't care what you say. I'm not selling you the shoe at that price. So I said, man, you do realize that he said, I've been working here for 7 years. I said, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. It's how long you've been doing it right. And you're not doing it right, because what you don't understand is you've been here 7 years because you have customers. And without me, I'm a customer. You don't have a job.
Right.
And that's what we live by. You feel me? So if you're not putting into where you come from, you don't have customers. So hopefully he hear this and he caught that lesson. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. Without the people, if you don't put into the pot, you won't be able to take much out.
And I thought that, just going back to when y'all was like, this don't even belong to us no more, it belong to the people. It was some movie. I can't remember what show or movie it was. Actually, it was Lie to Me. I don't know if y'all seen that show. But they was talking about how the guy said, once you have a talent, it's not even yours no more. No matter if it's, your clothing line, or if it's just, I'm a singer or I'm an actor. Your talent is not even yours anymore. So you got to go hard and work on your craft, because people need that.
Right.
You know, every talent that any talent that anybody has, it's needed by the world. You know, so it's not even yours no more. And I think a lot of times we try to say, oh, it's my talent, so we abandon it. We don't even work on our craft, because we become selfish with it. But once you realize that the world needs more people who embrace their talents and give it to the world, that's when you'll work your hardest. You know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting that y'all said that, man, for real.
And, you know, I definitely want to talk about the process of starting a clothing line, because Stu and I, we both co-founded a clothing line, Misunderstood Millennial, for our generation. We felt like millennials were misunderstood, and like you said, it's provocative. It has a broader meaning depending on each person. Each person can feel misunderstood in different ways. So me and Stu definitely teamed up on that, but we quickly learned, Stu, like, you know, the process of getting a domain, getting an LLC, making a website. Right. Oh, wait, we didn't get our shirt in time. I need a refund, like, stuff like that. So talk about the process of, like, starting a clothing line, you know, getting an online store, trying to find a local printer, stuff like that. So for people who do want to start a clothing line, like, where do they start?
First of all, you need a plan, because I think sometimes you see what other people have going on, and you say, I'm going to do that, but you don't have their plan. You don't even have your own plan. So the first thing to do if you want to start any business is to have some type of plan.
Right.
What you want to do, what you want to sell, what you want to make. But the important part is because you can have a phone, you can have a shoe, a sneaker, a shirt. If you don't have a target or anyone to sell it to, that item is no good. So figuring out the important pieces to business is what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and who's going to consume it. As far as starting a clothing brand, we started backwards. You know, I've had a lot of time to read up on the industry and how a lot of brands got started. A lot of brands started, you know, like we did, and we didn't know, like out the trunk. You know what I mean? A lot of people have been bankrupt. People don't know Michael Kors was bankrupt. You know, so them to come back, or for Michael Kors to come back and do it as big as he is doing now, people don't know these things. But a lot of times you start off by working for someone else in the fashion industry, learning the game, and then that way you can learn get your bumps and bruises on their dollar. And then at a later time you might start your own brand, but a lot of T-shirt brands start the exact opposite way. We got an idea, I'm gonna put it on a shirt, want someone to wear it, and then they get someone to wear it, and then realize no one else will wear it. So it's a challenge. But part of that is not having a plan, because you just made a shirt saying I want to sell it, but you didn't have a plan. Right. And a lot of times I think if people really put together a solid plan of what people would like this, go find out where those people are, talk to them about, would you buy a shirt that said millennial, or would you buy a shirt misunderstood millennial, or would you buy a shirt that say black owned, because I was asking people. But I was fortunate enough to be in a circle of cool guys, and I just asked all of them for money so that I can make a shirt and had them wear it at the same time, which is a plan.
Right.
And when I did that, the city of Cincinnati, it was at a popular bar, Mix nightclub, rest in peace, Mix. But that next day we had orders, so that was a plan. But yeah, I mean, you got to figure out what type of quality you want to have, and figuring out your target helps with that. If you want to sell to a younger demographic, they probably don't have as much discretionary income, so your quality may not be as important as it would be if you were selling to a high-end clientele. Just understand that I think fashion is a really tricky industry, but if you do your research, you can probably figure out how to make it. But a lot of people fail in this industry. I think it's 3% that make it. You know what I mean? So,
in fashion?
Yeah. But,
so why do you think that is? Why do you think it's so low?
Fashion is like, you ever watch movies and the person that fashion over the top.
Oh yeah.
That right there, they say pretty much is a myth. But fashion is like close knit, like represent, like everyone knows each other in the fashion industry. A lot of the factories, they know who's who. It's one of those industries where everybody knows what's going on. It's tight knit, and people have put in years. So if you've been working under Michael Kors, let's just use that name again, for the last 6 years, it's unlikely that the industry just going to let Gil come in out of nowhere and take what you've been working for. It's tight like that, you know what I mean? So, but there are a few people in the industry who didn't do those things, very few though, but they just came in with some dope stuff and that, they took off.
Right.
But a lot of people have worked under big names. Marc Jacobs worked under, Louis Vuitton. So it's a lot of things people don't see until you already there, but it takes work. So I think if you start in the line, if you got something good, one, believe in it. If you don't believe in it, no one else will. Then you got to have a plan. Then once you get your plan, be fearless in executing it. And then, like you said, when it may seem like it's going to end in a bad way, you got to know that you're on the right path. Because if this is what you're supposed to do, you're probably going to be successful at it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm speechless. Like, I'm over.
I was going to say hungry. You hungry?
No. Like, literally, I'm over here taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes in the middle of an episode. I don't think
I have to do that because I got it on record.
Right, yeah.
Don't matter, man. But
that's live though. So you taking notes is something that's being recorded.
Yeah, I'm taking notes because it's like, man, like everything you said, like I just, I learned from it because all of us here were entrepreneurs, and I'm humbled enough to say, like, I don't know it all. Like, you need a team. I can't do it by myself. I'm never going to know it all, and I'm constantly learning, like, how can I learn from Stu? How can I learn from Conan? How can I learn from Means? How can I learn from Gil? I'm trying to learn from everybody, and that's what you just got to do. Besides, like, the clothing, that ain't the only thing you do. Right. So Tape 10, shout out to that. Yeah. That's on Apple Music.
My brother.
Yep.
So
that's an album, right?
Huh?
It's an album, right?
Yeah.
So you dropped an album called Tape 10. So how was that experience? Because I'm in the process of writing a book. We're gonna put that on the camera for sure. I'm in the process of writing a book, and when I think about writing, I think about an album kind of like writing a book. So I'm like, there's times when I have like writer's block, when I want to stop writing, and I feel like I want to go write in the library. Probably it's kind of like that in the studio. So what's that experience like, and how long did it take you to actually finish the album?
Tape 10 was supposed to come out years ago. What happened was I had this idea for Tape 10. I wanted to have 10 different producers because no one does that on the album. And I learned why no one does that. But when you're young in the music, you want to experiment. You want to do new things. But I wanted to have 10 different producers with 10 a perfect listen. And whenever you do something perfect, you get 10s. So this concept of 10 was just where I wanted to go. A lot of things, the initial reason why we went with that title changed. Like, I couldn't get 10 producers to sound cohesive on one project. So I decided to work with the 2 producers that I've always worked with, and I'm glad I did. This is the best work that I've put out. M80 and Tony Spokes, like, couldn't have been better. But, the process is, it was supposed to come out a while ago. Last year, 2016, we scrapped everything, but I believe 1 song, 1 record, and we went to working on a new album. And I think we did. It took us a few months to create this version of Tape 10. But it was dope. I recorded everything with M80, and we just did everything in house.
I listened to it yesterday. Listened to it on the way in the car. I like it. Definitely like it. And
Thank you.
My good friend Kona, he's a producer, so I've learned a lot about music, and it's not easy. And it blows my mind just how it all like comes together. You know what I mean? So, who have been some people you've collaborated with? I saw Lantana was on there. Shout out to him from Cincinnati. Who was people you collaborated with? And you pretty much answered. I was going to ask you what inspired you to call it Tape 10, but I think I got my answer. Yeah. So, the collaboration. Who did you collaborate with?
On this project, I didn't have any rap features because I wanted. This pretty much is my first album. I've been a part of other albums. I was in a group. I was signed to a group at one time when I was younger, and I put out other projects. But this here was my first album. So I didn't want to feature anybody as far as like rapping on my first album. I wanted it to just be me. And it was a short listen. I think it's only maybe like 40 minutes of music. So I definitely didn't want to have features, but I did feature some people on the hook, like people that I work with. Like I work with Lantana. Like, he created a crazy hook, that Hard Code. That's a like dope single. You know what I mean? And we argued over that record because he was calling me like, man, you gonna put that record on the tape, ain't you? I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, and I really didn't want to put it on there. I didn't want to tell him no. So I was telling him I don't know. Really, I was thinking like, that's not going on my album. Right. But the producer who made the record, M80, was like, man, you tripping. Like that's
one of my favorite songs.
And now all the kids, the girls, they singing that song. And it's crazy how music works, because that's not typically the type of record I would make. But the beat I like, and I trusted them because I told them I didn't like the record, but I said I'm gonna listen and we're gonna put it on there, and I'm glad I did. So I work with Lantana on that record, and I work with Siobhan, who every project that I've done, she's been a part of. She's amazing spirit person. You know what I mean? Like, bigger than life itself. She does backup singing. She's on tour with Jennifer Hudson. She's been doing that for like the last few years. So she's always busy, but she'll literally make time to record with me whenever I say I'm doing an album. I also work with Nakia Shantae on there, and John Schuyler. Like, and if you haven't heard his music, like, go listen to it now, so you can really be like, oh, I was listening to him before he blew up. I mean, because he gonna blow up for sure. But yeah, just I collaborated on chorus, like a couple hooks with people, but that's it for this project, and it was fun that way though. I had more like, I'm just me as a person. I'm very hands on, so this project was like really dope to me because I was able to be hands on. I didn't have a lot of features, and I worked with the coolest people that I felt like was in my genre of music. So locally, yeah,
and besides that project. I know you always working on something, and I saw that video, Winners. Is it Winners?
Winner's Circle.
Winner's Circle, and it was in Miami, right?
Yeah.
You made me want to fly down there. After seeing that, I'll be back in Miami, part 3 in the summer. I'll be back. But, you know, how was that? You know, shooting a video in Miami. And besides that, you know, what are some projects you may have lined up next? I don't know if you want to drop everything out there, but
you see the smile on my face. That's how Miami make you feel.
yeah.
Shout out to Merc, man. Shout out to Scooter, Rico, Kev, like all those guys. Like man, like E-Check. Basically, we knew we wanted to shoot this video, so I got in contact with Kendall Mathis, the videographer. Dope young videographer, man, do amazing work. As you can see, that video looks nothing short of any other video. So we like, you know, we're gonna book flights to Miami and shoot the video there. So we rented a mansion. I mean, you know, had to have a pool, you know, whatever. And we were
Bentley was in it.
Huh?
Was it the Bentley that was in there too?
Yeah, but that was that belongs to somebody from Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah. So that wasn't rented.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like we wanted to shoot this video in Miami, and we like it got to have a pool. We was gonna shoot by the pool, but I think when we got there, like I love the area so much, I was like, we should climb up on the roof, and we did, and we got up on the roof, and it had that Miami feel, like the trees was blowing just right.
It was loud.
It's a really a dope video, but that record itself is dope. Like, you know, Amari J featured on there, but it was just really just talking about coming through some hard things, but landing on top. And that's how you end up in the winner's circle. Because like-minded people or people who've been through similar struggles, that, you know, the world just gravitate those people towards each other. And that's how we got that record. And the video just came out amazing. The video's so dope. We haven't even really pushed that video. You know, we're pushing this album and getting traffic, you know, to Macho Means, like to iTunes, and just, you know, looking me up, my Instagram and stuff. And once we got everybody's attention, you know, the video's so dope, it'll be dope when people are ready for it.
The video was live.
Because that video is now like a year old.
Like I said, I've watched it over and over because
I was looking at that girl in there.
I mean, she was fine, but it was just a video. That stuff, I talk about it with Kona all the time. Because, like I said, he's a producer. Yeah. So one question I would have is, you know, for a young producer, you know, that's trying to get his name out there, like, what advice would you give to them to collaborate with artists? Or because, you know, it's the beat that draws us in. And besides that, you know, for artists that are in Cincinnati, just like clothing lines, everybody wants to start a clothing line. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to sing. How would you say? Would you say that, like, going to places like Miami, LA separates you? You know, when you're doing videos versus just staying just in one spot. Do you advocate that? What would you say?
That's like a 5-part answer. I'm gonna try to answer all of those questions. I'm usually pretty sharp. I think your first question was, you know, what words do you have for a producer? I would say, like, music has changed a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be where the producer was getting paid up front for his tracks, so on and so forth. It also used to be you had to go in the store and buy an album. Well, you know, nobody's really buying records anymore. There's so many ways to get music free, one. But now, you know, the music industry, these are very intelligent people, so they figured out how to stream music. And even though you may be able to get it for free, it's just easier to stream it, and you're getting it, you know, a true way, and you can support the artists. And now streams actually, you know, are record sales. So a lot has changed. It's hard to move albums. There's only a few rappers that are going gold and platinum. So now everybody's working together. So that means the producer has to be like, I may not get paid on the front end, but if we do a dope record, I'll get paid on the back end, publishing. So as a producer, I would say in this day, I would say, you know, find out the artists that you think your sound would be good with, because your sound is not going to be good with every artist. I hear dope beats all the time. I'm like, that's fire. But I know it's not me.
Right.
So I would say, you know, find out what artists you think you sound great with, link with them, you know, just say, let's get in the studio, let's create some records. And those records can be records for that artist, or you can have records in mind for other artists in the industry. Have them record hooks. You know, I've recorded hooks for other artists, you know, write hooks for other people and send them off. You never know what gets placed. You get paid for that. So, you know, just be hungry, though, but hit people up. Be like, yo, I'm a new producer. I think this beat fits your style. Listen to it. I mean, most of us artists constantly looking for new sounds. So we plan those beats. If it's trash, we like, okay, yeah, delete that. And, you know, maybe I won't be checking for that email. But if it's good music, we're going to hit you up like, yo, what's up? Let's connect. So I would just say, you know, connect with the artist. Your second question was...
Man, I learned something else, so I lost.
I think.
The second question was like for local artists, because like I said, a lot of people want to start a clothing line or be an artist. Would you say that you recommend like getting out of your environment to promote your music, like going to Miami shooting a video versus just going to the Ohio River? You get what I mean? Like, would you recommend stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can shoot a video here in Cincinnati. It's important, like once again, to rep where you're from. You know, especially as an artist, like people expect for you to come out, let us know where you're from. That's important. So you can shoot dope videos in Cincinnati, but I think as you continue to shoot videos, it does show that you take your craft seriously. You're willing to pack up everything and everybody and spend your own money to go somewhere to shoot a video, because a lot of artists say they want it, but they won't spend their own money on their craft. And that's a big issue. So, doing something like going to Miami, it just changed the environment. The type of song that it is, I wanted people to feel good when listening to it. And Miami has that vibe. So shooting it in Cincinnati wouldn't have done that song any justice. So that's why we went to Miami. But I think it does show that you're willing to, go the extra mile to have your music be, on point. And everybody do want to be rappers, but I'm not the person to tell you that you can't be whatever it is you think you want to be. You know what I mean? I'm not that person. I really do. Like I said, if you're supposed to be doing that, you're going to do it. Because when you're supposed to be doing something, it's nothing or no one is going to really stop you from doing it. Like, that doesn't make sense. It might not happen in the time frame that you want it to happen. But, yeah, I'm going to have a hit record. I know that. You know what I mean? I know that I'm going to win an award for making music. I know these things. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know that those things will come to pass. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Because I believe that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I can't even think of nothing else I want to be doing. Like, I'm not passionate about nothing else. You know what I mean? Well, coffee. I'm passionate about coffee. I'm passionate
and Jordan ones.
I'm very passionate about Jordan 1s. Passionate about coffee. Passionate about black owned. My brothers, my family. You know what I mean? But yeah, like so.
And closing off on that, speaking of black owned, where can people buy it? Where can people go support that and go get their gear and everything?
Man, get on that Metro. Come downtown. 822 Elm Street. We right next to Izzy's. I mean,
see, I got a store.
Everybody knows what that is. I'm giving Izzy's Pub. We want some sandwiches or something, man. Cause yeah, we do. They show love.
Okay.
Izzy's is Jewish, yeah. They, but yeah, they show love though down there.
822 Elm Street.
822 Elm.
And you can find us on Instagram. Like, what we do is on Instagram. It's at I'm Black Owned.
Okay.
And it's I'm Black Owned on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And our website is blackowned19xx.com. So we do have an online site too.
Okay.
We ship everywhere around the world.
So you can order online or visit the store.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be in there for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you go.
You got anything else too?
No. What was you about to say?
Nah, he was just making sure that we, y'all get tape 10, man. Listen to tape 10.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. We got it right here.
It's on
tape
iTunes.
10.
It's on every
Tape
streaming
10.
site that's out.
Tape 10. Yes, sir. Tape 10. Make sure y'all check it out. We'll link it in the description, so make sure you check it out. Click that link, man. Tape 10. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Make sure y'all check that out, man. So, just like how I always end the show with two questions, but before I ask that, I'm just curious. That's live, that jersey right there, because the whole time I thought it was a Chicago Bulls jersey, but it says black owned. Like, that's live.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I know. I just happened to notice it. Yeah. And
y'all sell those?
Yeah, this actually came out last summer in a set.
Wow.
Like, it's one of my favorites. Like, I've worn this by 10 times. Like, you feel me? And I don't have to.
Wow.
But this, the joint, it came with the shorts.
Does it have to be 42? Number 42?
Yeah, all of our athletic apparel is 42.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's just a major number. I'll just say that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a very important number to our culture. So all of
Jackie Robinson?
I mean, we just like the number.
I ain't no saying. Say no more.
It has that black and red, I guess, Chicago look, but it's definitely black on.
I didn't even.
We black on every day.
Yeah,
I like that.
Hey, people, you got anything else?
Yeah. So What well, we already kind of touched on this and everything, but so personally, I can each answer this one, but when you do feel discouraged sometimes, or sometimes you run through some roadblocks or whatever, what keeps you going? Like, what wakes you up in the morning like, oh, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do it again. I'm doing it again. So basically, what's your why for each of y'all? What's your why?
Go first, man.
I just don't want to struggle, basically, you know. That's my big why, you know. And you also want to make people proud, and you want to make your mom proud, and you want to just be, you know, in a comfortable position. And you gotta just keep working at that, and if not, you're just gonna stay like a boat in a frozen lake, you know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing what Gil's saying. You feel me? Like, I like things. I'm a provider. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to provide for my family. You know, that's really what makes me happy. Like, being in a position to provide for my people, take care of my people. So that's what get me going. Like, just the idea of that, and the idea that when I have kids, when they get 21 and they head into the world, they're starting with something, because I set them up for that. Like, my mom didn't, you know, my mom wasn't able to send me off with anything. You know, I actually graduated from school, $32,000 in debt. So I'm starting off going into the world with the biggest stress of them all, which is owing someone money. So my goal is, when I'm done and I look back, you know, my kids will be able to say, yeah, my grandfather was, and this is what he left, you know. So that's what motivates me, you know. But also, I get to wear dope clothes every day. Like, that motivates anybody. So, and, you know, and I'm making good music, and, you know, just being, you know, really being creative, man. That's a release. Like, you know, some people like to drink, smoke. Sometimes I do those things, but more importantly, creating things is the release. You know, it's the ultimate high, for sure. Yeah.
And so when it's all said and done, what do you want people to say? And then we can come back to you. Means was
himself. He was truly himself.
I like that.
That means that you may love me right now, and I may offend you in a second. I'm myself. I'm me.
Right.
And all my brothers will attest to that. You feel me? And sometimes we clash for that reason, but I'm myself. Truly am. It gets me in trouble at times, but I'm
Right. What about you?
I want to say, like, they were self-made. Nah, like all of us collectively. Like, I want people to remember us being self-made and working our way from the bottom up. You know, literally from the bottom to the top, like literally. So that's what I want people to remember us by.
I like that. Good. Well, now, you know, we always end with Jay giving us a quote, something for y'all to think about at the end. So, Jay, go ahead. And
you had something, you said you were just me, and I got something to go perfectly with that. I'll say, watch who you pretend to be before you forget who you are.
Indeed.
I like that.
See?
I like
and
that.
It happens.
It does. You will forget. That's Jay Thomas, Stu Anima with Means and Gail. Black-owned boys in the building. We appreciate y'all.
Black-owned boys in the building.